not a lot of people know this. I go by Kazique. I've changed my name legally to Kazique. But my given name, my birth name, is Kevin. I know for a fact my mother gave me that name because she wanted me to have a nice, safe name. It's a nice Gaelic Irish name that means handsome and noble. And with that kind of name, you know what I'm saying? And with that kind of name, you put down a job application. I remember one of my first jobs in college, I worked at Whataburger, and I sent him a resume. I had with all my job experience, which wasn't a much. It was KFC and another job at Whataburger. So I gave my job experience. It said Kevin Prince. And I walked in the door, and he's like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "I'm Kevin." He's like, he had that look of shock. Like, "Oh, you're not quite the person I thought was going to be." Because I had talked to him on the phone. Have you seen that movie? I forget the name of the movie, where he has the white voice on the phone. And it's just something
sorry
I
to bother you.
Yeah, sorry to bother you. That's why that's why the movie's so funny, right? Because I learned from my family, you get on the phone, you have your professional voice. My mother, could just fall on the ground and be, like any other black mother I know, when she was the executive director, she would get on the phone and says, "Hello, this is Sandra Turlington. How can I help you?" And I learned that watching her. She would do speeches. She'd get on the phone and have her work laugh. That's so. You're such a joy to be around. And so I learned that, and I used it because there's advantages that come with it, right? And so I think, but naming myself Kazique, being willing to take the risk to be myself in more and more settings, it's part of my liberation. It's part of my own personal liberation. I'm sorry to
interrupt. Where did you get Kazique, the name Kazique?
Glad you asked. Kazique is, I spent a lot of time trying to find a name. First I went with a name that came from West Africa, and it was the day of the week. It just didn't roll off my lips. But I came across Kazique. I forgot how I found it, and it's a Caribbean name. It's actually of the native Tainos, and it actually kind of worked for me because, as I mentioned to you before we got on, my ex-wife is Puerto Rican. My kids are part Puerto Rican, so to me, it was my way of connecting with my kids. And it means chief, leader, medicine person. In some parts of Latin America, unfortunately, it also means overseer or drug lord. We won't talk about that, but yes.
I can totally relate to the name, though. My mother named me Angela, and no middle name. Angela, no middle name to borrow. Very basic, very trying to make our lives easier when we came to this country.
What are we dealing with? What are our parents dealing with? They're dealing with people being called out because their name is too ethnic. They can't get a job. They're just, you're too much. I mean, I remember when I had braids. I was a social worker in the Bronx. I had braids and an afro, and I came home to visit my mom, and she's like, "Are you going to get a job?" I'm like, "Mom, I got a job. But a real job, the one that pays money."
Yeah. But it's true. It's that movement now, like you mentioned, we're starting to rock our natural hair. I know I am for sure. I've straightened my hair for 27 years. And now this last year, I've totally natural, never ever before in my life. And I had similar reactions from my mom. She's like, "It looks so unprofessional." I'm like, "What's unprofessional about the real us?"
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.